Planning a fishing trip shouldn't feel like a full-time job. With fishingbooker.com, you can find and book the perfect fishing trip within minutes. Fishingbooker.com connects you with trusted fishing captains around the world. Booking is fast, easy, and secure, with access to verified customer reviews, loyalty rewards, and around-the-clock customer support. Everything you need to book with confidence is in one place. So head to fishingbooker.com and start planning your next fishing adventure today.
I didn't think the pain from the shingles rash would affect simple, everyday tasks like bathing, getting dressed, or even walking around. I was wrong. Though not everyone at risk will develop it, 99% of people over the age of 50 already have the virus that causes shingles, and it could reactivate at any time. I developed it, and the blistering rash lasted for weeks. Don't learn the hard way, like I did. Talk to your doctor or pharmacist today. Sponsored by GSK.
All right, welcome back to the Survival and Basic Badass podcast with Kevin and Chuck. Today we're going to talk revolution. I was reading about Mao Zedong, and he has that book on guerrilla warfare, and a lot of the prepper books that I read, they cite it and they act like it's some great, mystery information thing. And I thought I was going to have all this great information for you guys, and I was going to be excited. And it was just boring, hammered dog shit. It has a lot of the philosophy, but you're not really learning any cool tactical stuff.
Yeah, it seems like it's really about why socialism and communism is so amazing.
Yeah, that's wrong. But actually, I thought really, you know what? Kevin's back. We're excited. I thought Kevin could open us up with a nice quote from my boy Samuel Adams.
All right. If you love wealth greater than liberty, the tranquility of servitude greater than the animating contest for freedom, go home from us in peace. We seek not your counsel nor your arms. Crouch down and lick the hand that feeds you. May your chains set lightly upon you, and may posterity forget you are our countrymen.
Now, why I thought this was such an appropriate quote for today's podcast is, I don't know, in the prepper community, everybody kind of talks about, economic collapse, and some people almost seem like they're excited, like they want the shit to hit the fan.
They want it to happen.
So they can, embrace the world or create the new world that they imagine or whatever. But I thought, maybe we should do like a little retrospective and go back and look at how revolutions have worked out, for the world.
Yeah, for the most part,
it doesn't.
That's a 50-50 mix.
It's 50-50 mix. You might not come out on top with that. And the thing is, too, maybe there are steps that we could take to kind of ensure the outcome that we want.
Right.
A lot of the prepper books, they kind of end up with, like the one I was just reading, Patriots by Rawls. He talks about an economic collapse, and then in the end, basically, the government steps in to restore order after, an indeterminate amount of time. I think it's like 5 years or something in the book. But basically, it's like, the guy's like a city councilman or whatever, and he's like, you need somebody who knows how to plan and organize shit. So I should be the new president and whatever. And we should do all the same things. And, in order to just get back order, we need to take all your guns away from you because I don't need any kind of uprising. And, there's a lot of hooligans running around and terrorizing and raping. And if we just take the guns away from everybody, then it'll all be okay. And I just thought, let's talk about what happens in revolutions, what ends up being the outcome, when you get rid of your government, who fills that void? It's usually somebody who's ready to fill that void. And you need to start planning and moving that way if you want things to work out in your favor. So I did do a lot of, reading of Mao Zedong, and he had some quotes. Like, he had his whole philosophy was that basically people go through like medieval kind of feudal system, where they're just like barbarian kind of living hand to mouth. Basically, he calls them living as peasants, a peasant society. And basically, you go from that peasant society to a kind of more industrial society where things become civilized. And then you go into a democracy, and then that's where he wants to step in and take you into kind of communism. Because I hate to say it, that's where democracy leads you, is in some form of socialism, communism.
Generally speaking, yeah.
Generally speaking. And then I would say that eventually takes you back to the peasant system. And it's kind of this endless cycle. And I kind of, after reading what he said, was thinking a little bit more. And I was like, in America, we kind of went from, building up into an industrial empire and then kind of getting into the more democratic democracy, because we're not starting out as a democracy. Everybody knows the arguments there, representative, republic, all that. But it wasn't the majority mob rule. And that's what I think of when I say democracy.
Right.
Is kind of mob rule. The majority are the loudest voices. And I feel like we're definitely heading down that road, where it seems to be, you can bully everybody into, whatever you want. You can lay down on the floor at Publix and get the grocery store to support the political candidates that you want, or, whatever shenanigans.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, that's a thing.
All right.
That stupid
I'm going to start laying
kid
down and...
from the... He had like a bunch of people go lay down on the floor at the grocery store, and then they were somehow like, oh, you're right, we shouldn't give to political candidates. We're upsetting our grocery store patrons.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah,
whatever.
the ones that can't get over the people laying on the ground.
Yeah, exactly. They were upset. So, that kind of thing. But I feel like America is actually kind of regressing in that we're getting away and we're kind of heading down that road.
Well, you know what they say, weak men breed hard times, and hard times breed strong men.
Oh, strong men, something.
Yeah. Strong men create easy times, and easy times create weak men.
Weak men. There you go. And that's I feel like a road we're going down. I almost feel like it's inevitable that we kind of fall apart. And I don't know what will bring our demise. And I'm not praying for our demise. And I guess this is part of the point of today's episode, is that, we shouldn't be praying for our demise. We should be trying to save America.
Right.
Trying to make America the, greatness that it once was. You should be sharing your values with your kids, your family, your friends, your coworkers. We want to bring it back to its glory. That's what it's all about. And it should always be moving towards that goal. But I also think you might be a little foolish if you're not preparing yourself for a possible decline.
Right.
I feel like less and less your government is going to be able to be there to help you out. I don't want to end up in a FEMA camp.
Nah, me neither.
And that's how I see most, revolution things going. You either end up in a FEMA camp or you end up prepared and some kind of warrior. And that's a dangerous, a dangerous line. You got to pick the right side. See, that's the whole thing, is there's, all these different revolutions, and, they don't always end out like America. We overtook the British, and it ended up, working out pretty great. But that's kind of the exception rather than the rule. We recently, more modern times, we had that Arab Spring, right?
Right.
A lot of countries ended up having a big uprising. Tunisia
Yeah,
And,
and Tunisia was one that actually worked out pretty well.
How'd that work out for
That
him?
started in December 18th, 2010. That was the first
First of the
Arab
ripple
nation.
effect kind of thing, yeah.
And that actually, only 338 people ended up getting killed in the whole thing. And they had democratic elections. And now have a democratically elected leader. So, it's pretty impressive. But I forget the name of the dictator that was in charge in Tunisia. But he was a real nasty piece of shit.
Yeah.
So, I mean...
I always thought Tunisia was like a vacation spot. And then when I was in the Navy, our helicopters, I guess, all of a sudden, we're hanging out. I don't know where I am, somewhere in the Middle East.
Right.
And all of a sudden, oh, you're in Tunisian airspace and we're going to shoot you down. And we're like, oh, I guess it's not a vacation wonderland. And then we were like, yeah, and you're cool, MiG. We're a guided missile cruiser, and you shoot down our helicopter, and we're going to shoot you down.
Yeah, that's not really a competition, guided missile cruiser versus a MiG. Not really fair.
No, but I don't know. I can't really discuss any more about how that played out. But
my favorite, the most interesting one was the revolution in Libya.
Okay.
Do you remember that one?
Now, this is where they went in and got Gaddafi there.
Yeah, they went in.
And
They were doing some
gold
bombing.
AK-47s, or were they gold 1911s?
Yep. Did you know that he had an army of virgin women that were his bodyguards?
No, were they virgins though?
Who knows? I've seen some of them,
They may have
and
started
I
out
wouldn't.
as
I wouldn't
virgins.
have had sex with them. So whatever. But that was about 8,000 to 10,000 people dead in that one, and that led to another revolution in 2014. Didn't work out so well for Libya or for Muammar Gaddafi, who got raped in the butt with a knife.
Ooh.
So I mean, sometimes that happens.
That does not sound good.
So, if you ever want to play a prank on your friend and jam something up their butt, just yell Gaddafi when you do it. And it means you're not gay. It's just a fun time. Fun time to hang out when you're hanging out with your friends. Yeah. Egypt, that started in 2010.
Okay.
I guess cops drugged some kid, Khalid Saeed, out of an internet cafe and just beat him to death. He wasn't a terrorist of any sort. He wasn't a political dissident. He was just some dude that they drug out and beat the shit out of him. So that kind of set things off. Some guy on Facebook started a Facebook page called We Are All Khalid Saeed. And
but are we? Because I'm Chuck.
They had that. No, you're not Egyptian.
Oh.
So they had a big revolution. The Muslim Brotherhood took over.
All right.
And they had another big revolution.
They were like, no.
And honestly, of anybody in the world, the Egyptians are probably the best at having revolutions. Just not fantastic at setting up governments. So
we all have our skills.
Things are actually getting a lot better in Egypt though after the second revolution.
How's that?
Well, I mean, in the sense that women have a little bit more rights and a little bit more religious freedom.
I like that.
A little less poverty now. In a sense, they're able to work and strive for their own dreams.
Their own dreams.
That's
I
right.
Like it. What I saw on the news was, we know things are good in Egypt now because people are out in the streets protesting. Because before, they would have just shot your ass.
Right.
And they're like, oh, look, everybody's pissed off and protesting.
Mm-hmm.
Good things are coming.
Now, let me tell you, though, on a side note on Egypt, apparently they treat dogs over there very poorly.
All right.
So we don't have enough stray dogs in the United States. They're actually importing stray dogs now to the United States. You can actually get a dog from Egypt to live in your house, and I have that dog in my house right now.
What?
A long-haired Chihuahua that
was formerly an Egyptian.
Formerly named Cleopatra. I renamed that because that's stupid. But as much as I hate little dogs, that dog, man, he chews up all the woodchucks. So I can't complain. She's doing a good job protecting the garden. So
I like it.
I let her be.
Nice.
All right. Sorry on that about
Little
that side note, but
all right.
No.
No.
Not all the revolutions ended up very well, though. The Bolshevik Revolution,
Tell me about the Bolsheviks.
1905.
All right.
That was Tsar Alexander, I think. He was the guy that had Rasputin as his.
Nice.
The evil monk there with the 12-inch. Anyway.
Anyway, moving right along.
Nobody understood why he was putting all his friends in prominent positions. Nobody understood why he was there, and it was because their son had that disease where you bleed to death, where you bleed out all the time. Anytime you get a cut, it just keeps bleeding.
Hemophiliac.
He was a hemophiliac. Right.
Hemophilia.
And Rasputin could magically just cure it every time he got sick. So they kept him around because he was the only male heir. So they kept him around. But it just exacerbated all the problems. And Russian aristocracy was famous for being really brutal. Beating people to death, just because and things like that.
That's the thing, like you think of the end of World War II, everybody was like, oh, Hitler was so bad and the concentration camps and all this. Mm-hmm. Russia was doing the same shit.
Right. And let's not forget.
Even after World War II, Russia kind of took over the camps and we're like, yeah, we just won't say anything. Yeah. Is that cool?
Yeah.
And everyone's like, yeah, no, that works.
Because I think Hitler's total was 12 to 14 million. Stalin beat that, blew that out of the park, man. 20 million people dead in the first 15 years. Yeah. No, he just took care of it. But I mean, being a Russian in Russia in 1905 to 1915, not a fantastic place to be. No, didn't end up well for just about anybody, and they're still dealing with it right now. So I mean, not every revolution leads to good things, but the real champion.
Yeah, who's the winner?
Chairman Mao. Mao Zedong.
All right.
55 million people starved to death.
55. Now, and he still gets a Christmas ornament in the White House under Obama? Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty fantastic.
They had the Mao
he would have
ornament.
He actually murdered all the Christians in China, so why not make him into a Christmas ornament? I'm sure he would be happy about that as well.
You see, the irony is deafening.
Mm-hmm. I thought it was interesting. He had that Great Leap Forward. That was like a 5 or 10 year campaign. I forget what it was. Sometime in the 50s, where they were going to change from a rural farming country into an industrial
machine.
And one of the things they did was they got every person in the entire country for 5 days straight to go outside and bang pots and pans together.
Yes.
And it would scare all the birds up into the air.
That's how you start a revolution.
And they would... This is after the... Well, okay. I guess the revolution's still going on. I don't know how those revolutions work there. But they got all the birds so that they were constantly flying and wouldn't perch anywhere. And they would get exhausted and just fall out of the sky. And then everyone would run over and stomp on them.
Yes.
So now the birds weren't eating the crops. But the other thing that birds eat are bugs. And the bugs ate all the crops.
Oh.
There's like a massive locust infestation after that, and all the crops were eaten, and everybody starved to death.
Damn it.
Didn't work out so well.
That was a good plan, though. I see where it had its strength.
Yeah, it had its merits, but they should have spent some time killing all the bugs first, maybe, But,
all right.
You win some, you lose some. I just think that's crazy, though. Everybody standing outside with pots and pans, banging them, and then birds falling out of the sky and just run over and stomp on them. They killed all the birds. They killed like 70% of all the fucking sparrows in the country.
I got some birds in my house. Keep getting in the attic.
You need a bunch of communists over here to bang some pots and pans. Yeah,
get some commies.
That
sounds right.
But yeah, that didn't end up well, and still to this day, that's. If you've ever met someone from China and you have a conversation with them, they have no concept that censorship is wrong in any way, or that the leader just declaring that he gets as many terms as he wants, talking about Xi Jinping.
That makes sense.
And, they can't even watch time travel movies. Back to the Future is banned in China.
Now, wait a minute. We
Disappointing.
actually have some Chinese listeners. This might be new information for them, right?
You
now.
guys need to get on point and start pirating some Back to the Future. That is a legit movie.
That is a legit
Michael J.
movie.
Fox at his best.
His best.
Yeah, so if you're in China listening right now,
the
you need to
shakes.
find this. You need to find this this movie. Get your hands on it. You know, don't let the police find out, but
No, you got to keep that on the down low.
yeah.
No propaganda posters, nothing.
Mhm.
That sounds right. All right.
But yeah, not all revolutions end up well.
Right.
And then when they go bad, it seems like they go real bad.
They go real bad.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the revolution in Venezuela, but I think most of the people that would start the revolution have already died of starvation. So
Yeah,
they're
done.
all just dying.
Now, how does it that America, we think that Venezuela is the example? I
I
still
don't
haven't
think
figured
that.
that one out.
I don't think that.
You know, if we get our shit together, this is what we could be like.
Uh-huh.
I'm not sure that's a good call. Everybody's starving, and yeah, that doesn't sound like what I want.
You don't go for that.
No.
All right. Well, we'll see what happens, you know?
Now, the way I imagine it, so, like I said, the reason I kind of went down this road on this podcast is, you know, you don't want to end up in FEMA camps. You got to, you know, just watch how the world plays out. See what's coming. And be prepared with an alternative.
Right. I mean, what are you going to do when, you know, when you have no food in your cupboard and the only place that has food
Is
is
the FEMA camp.
FEMA camp. The fenced-in camp that once you go in,
Now,
you ain't going out.
that's the thing. See, I mean, I hate to say it. That's a lot of times how they win over the hearts and minds is like, well, you know, you're starving to death, and I have
We
a
have
sandwich.
Right.
Cheese sandwiches for everybody.
Bologna.
Bologna and cheese.
Mm-hmm.
That's like you're a millionaire.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. They're offering bologna and cheese sandwiches, and people are like, well, shit, you know, I'm going to turn in my guns because there's bologna and cheese sandwiches. And I heard they have Netflix.
What?
Yeah. FEMA camps with Netflix.
Netflix and
So,
chill with your bologna sandwich.
I mean, if you have that kind of crap as an option, if you don't have something to provide for your family and your friends, you can't take care of things, then you're going to be forced to make a choice.
right.
But also, if things do end badly, you need to come up with logical alternatives. Do you understand history? Do you know how the world works? Do you know what, you know, kind of governments are failing and what kind of governments are working? You know, what is freedom to you? You know, I mean, what is going to be your solution?
Right.
And the thing is, you can't just hide in a cave. You have to kind of have your politics out there. And I don't mean you need to have your business out there. I mean, you need to share with people what's right. People need to know, you know, your kids need to know. When you talk to your friends, say, well, you know, I believe this because, and explain things. Attacking things isn't going to help anybody,
Mm-hmm.
but explaining and helping people understand why, you know, why freedom is the answer.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's what's going to make the difference in the world. That's how you're going to bring about real change.
Right. Right. Yeah, I think a lot of people, you know, my son was actually dealing with this. They were having this was when they were having the protests in Charlottesville.
Yes.
And his teacher was talking about freedom of speech and saying that certain speech has a negative impact and should not be allowed to exist.
Excellent.
So, I mean, it's when you think about freedom of speech, it's a marketplace of ideas, you know? You can go through all the ideas and pick the best solution. But when you're limited on what you can say and what you can hear, and that's really what freedom of speech is about, is what information you can attain.
Right.
And assess and make your own decision about. You know, if people have a bunch of bad ideas, that's fine. You can just cross them off the list. But when you limit the freedom of speech, you're limiting people's choices. You're limiting people's ideas and potential for ideas. So when people talk about, government giving you the right to freedom of speech, that's not government that gives you that right.
No.
That's God gives you that right. That's a God-given right. You know?
It's you got lucky enough to have a government that doesn't take away
Right.
that God-given right.
Right, exactly. So, I mean, a lot of these things that, when people talk about revolutions, people talk about, changing the world, that's fine. That's fine. I'm all for changing the world, making it a better place.
Beatles do have that fun song about it.
Yeah, that's right. I was actually just listening to that. But, you have to remember that there's a cost for these things.
Yeah.
And it may be your life, it may be your child's life, and it may be 55 million of your countrymen that starved to death. So, choose wisely.
Choose wisely.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, I think we'll leave the revolution at that. Now, if you're going to start a revolution, you might need the best parts for your AR-15.
Where would you get those?
You know where you would get those things would be subscribing to TacPack. Now, TacPack.com actually has a website where they have a program that if you give them $49.95 a month,
that's it.
They will send you high-value AR-15 and preparedness tools and parts right to your door. They come in a nice, possibly eco-friendly box. I don't know, is cardboard good for the planet? It sounds like it is, right?
Sounds like
it goes in the bin that says recycle. I know.
Yeah.
I feel good when I put it in there.
Mm-hmm.
So we got that recyclable box that's going to come in, and it's going to have all these cool, like, gun things, maybe some utility tools, maybe gun cleaning tools, man stuff. You know how it is.
Man stuff, yep.
And $49.95. And the thing is, they put way more value because they're buying it all in bulk and getting you the good deal, putting it together.
Right.
And that way companies get exposed and you see new shit. And then you're like, ooh, I need this. I need more of this. And you're going to tell your friends, everybody, it's a win. Cool thing is, they already know you love AR-15s and guns, because otherwise you wouldn't be giving them $49.95 a month.
Mm-hmm.
So they set it up that if you use the code BADASS, they are going to hook you up with a free gun cleaning mat that you'll be able to lay all the parts out nice. Now, any of you who've ever worked on an AR-15, you know about those deton springs that when you pull it apart, they shoot across the room and disappear.
Mm-hmm.
The mat isn't really going to help you with that. I just recommend buying extra.
Mm-hmm.
That's really the
Extra
only
springs?
way to go. Extra springs, because that shit's just gone. I got to tell you, I was pulling apart an AR-15 over this past weekend, and one of the kids is sitting there talking to me, and sure enough, I undo the stock, and the stock retention spring shoots up in the little cap that's on it, and flies, I didn't know where. My kid's like, oh, it's on the couch right there. And, like, in between the cushions. Like,
Spotted
if you
going,
dig
huh?
there. No, you couldn't even see it at that point. I
Uh-huh.
saw it go down there. And I'm like, really? And I go, and sure enough, there they are.
Nice.
I'm like, shit.
Sometimes it's handy to have kids around.
See, kids pay off.
Uh-huh.
So I'm just saying, maybe something you might want to check out if you love guns, you love working on guns,
Mm-hmm.
you love getting that kind of cool parts. And the cool thing is, if you're getting that TacPack delivered, you don't have to, like, explain to the wife, like, oh, I bought all these gun parts.
Right.
No, it's just TacPack. I mean,
TacPack.
that comes every month. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I
That's what I do,
Yeah.
you know? It's not like I'm going to the gun store and buying shit
Right.
all the time. Come on.
Right. Well, also, I've noticed there's been a serious drop-off in emails lately.
Yeah?
Want to hear what you guys have to say.
I think that's because you haven't been here pitching for it.
preppingbadass@gmail.com.
preppingbadass@gmail.com.
Yeah, let us know your thoughts and feelings, your hopes and dreams. Or if you just have a topic you want us to talk about.
Now, we actually have a new sponsor coming out next week. I don't want to tell you who it is because I don't want to give it away.
You don't want to blow up the spot.
I don't want to blow up the spot, but I'm just saying, be prepared for good things to come. And we maybe will tell you about some exciting stuff. A lot of good things, a lot of new sponsors coming up.
Yeah.
So this was kind of the May sponsors that you were hearing about. Also, My Medic, we can still get you that 15% off.
All right. How do we get
use
that 15%
the code
off?
BADASS.
All right.
Now, 15% kind of brings prices right to where, where you're feeling pretty good. Where you're like, I think I should stock up on that extra stuff.
Yeah.
I did find a good spot to get some antibiotics, the fish antibiotics.
Yeah.
I'm going to put a link up in the show notes for that. That's somewhere else. That's something I found, in my research. I'm going to hook you guys up if you've been waiting. You're like, ooh, Chuck, the $199, I'm not really down for that. Well, what if I told you $35? That might be something you might consider, right?
Yeah. I'd spend
so
my
I'm
money
going to put
on
a
that.
link in the show notes, and that'll be cool. Also, the Survival and Basic Badass podcast
Maybe I can
is
come
a
up with
proud
news story.
member of the Self-Defense Radio Network. So you guys may want to check that out. They have a lot of cool stuff, a lot of other podcasts on there. You might find some great new stuff when you're bored and you're like, I already listened to the Survival and Basic Badass podcast about 4 times this week. And, now that I've listened to the same episode 4 times and I've gone through the entire library, now you might want to venture out and find something else, see if there's something else. Just until next Saturday when the new episode comes out, obviously.
One thing I want to touch on. You see that new Supreme Court ruling?
Tell me.
Apparently, there's a police officer, and apparently they legally have a right to search vehicles parked on the street without a warrant.
That sounds horrible.
Well, they went up into somebody's driveway and took a tarp off a motorcycle.
All right.
So this went up all the way up to the Supreme Court, whether they could do that. That's a Fourth Amendment thing. Right to privacy, right to, securing your papers in person, whatever.
Securing your motorcycle.
So, for a change, I feel like, the Supreme Court ruled in the people's favor.
Really?
8-1.
Really?
So you do need a warrant to go onto somebody's property and search their vehicle. Because apparently that was a question. I don't know why. But cops can't now come onto your property and search your vehicle, which should have been the case the whole time. I just assumed that was the case. I mean, that's where I keep all my drugs and dead prostitutes is in my car in my driveway. So I think it was Judge Alito was the dissenting.
He was dissenting?
He thought that it would be okay for police officers because it's a reasonable search.
It's reasonable.
Yeah. No, it's not reasonable because it's my shit.
Yeah, no.
So
That's too many times we just keep giving a little bit more and a little bit more. And, we just keep compromising and they take. And it's got to come to an end. So, you guys, stay sharp, stay on your freedoms. You may want to head over to iTunes, maybe leave us a review. Check out our YouTube channel, Badass YouTube. I think if you search Prepping Badass. If not, I got a link in the show notes. And now, I will leave you with the kind words of Sir Patrick Henry. All right? Feel good? All right. Stay safe, and we'll talk to you guys next week.
They tell us, sir, we are weak, unable to cope with so formidable an adversary. But when shall we be stronger? Will it be the next week or the next year? Will it be when we are totally disarmed and a British guard shall be stationed in every house? Shall we gather strength by irresolution and inaction? Shall we acquire the means of effectual resistance by lying supinely on our backs and hugging the delusive phantom of hope until our enemy shall have bound us hand and foot? Sir, we are not weak if we make a proper use of that means which a gracious God hath placed in our power. 3 millions of people, armed in the holy cause of liberty, and in such a country as that which we possess, are invincible by any force which our enemy can send against us. Besides, sir, we shall not fight our battles alone. There is a just God who presides over the destinies of nations, and who will raise up friends to fight our battles for us. The battle, sir, is not to the strong alone. It is to the vigilant, the active, the brave. Besides, sir, we have no election. If we were base enough to desire it, it is now too late to retire from the contest. There is no retreat but in submission and slavery. Our chains are forged. Their clanking may be heard on the plains of Boston. The war is inevitable, and let it come. I repeat it, sir, let it come. It is in vain to extenuate the matter. Gentlemen may cry, peace, peace, but there is no peace. The war is actually begun. The next gale that sweeps from the north will bring to our ears the clash of resounding arms. Our brethren are already in the field. Why stand we here idle? What is it that gentlemen wish? What would they have? Is life so dear, or peace so sweet, as to be purchased at the price of chains and slavery? Forbid it, Almighty God. I know not what course others may take, but as for me, give me liberty, or give me death.
Planning a fishing trip shouldn't feel like a full-time job. With fishingbooker.com, you can find and book the perfect fishing trip within minutes. Fishingbooker.com connects you with trusted fishing captains around the world. Booking is fast, easy, and secure, with access to verified customer reviews, loyalty rewards, and around-the-clock customer support. Everything you need to book with confidence is in one place. So head to fishingbooker.com and start planning your next fishing adventure today.